Hi, and welcome to Two Tired Teachers.
We're coming at you from Lake Whitney, and on Lake Whitney there are a number of camping options.
Yes.
There is a Lake Whitney State Park. We have done a review of that, but this time we are staying at McCown Valley Park, which is a Corps of Engineer park that's on the lake.
Yes.
And we are here the first week in January.
Yes. It has...
Well, we want to say that there are a number of Corps of Engineer parks around Lake
maybe
Whitney.
6 or 8. We can't remember the exact number, but there are quite a few.
But some of those are just seasonal. They're not open year-round. So for this trip, you know, there were some that, wow, this thing is booked up. Well, no, it's not. It's just that it's closed right now. I will say that this, according to the information right here, says that the entire park is reservation only. And then...
That's something new with COE parks.
And I don't know that all parks have all sites that are reservation only, but this park is. And so, you know, we ran into that in New Mexico,
yes,
where we had to pull over at the side and go online and make a reservation. But the other thing we want to say about this park is there are a variety of camping options.
Yeah, you've got 30 amp sites, you've got 50 amp sites, you've got non-electric sites.
There are 50 amp, 20 amp screen shelters, and then there are 50 amp equestrian sites. I was shocked by how many equestrian sites there are.
They've got a huge number. Most of them are in the second part.
Well, there are 2 equestrian loops. The one that is up nearest the headquarters, they're just slots. You just back in slots. And then the other one that are sites 76 through 104, you actually have campsites. And we're telling you that because if this happens to be a place you want to come and the other sites are full, we have stayed in a number of equestrian sites.
Yes.
And they're actually campsites. And you have, you know, the picnic tables of firings, trees and stuff surrounding them.
I do not believe they have all that in the smaller one.
No, but something I do want to say, and I'm going to go in and say that for this park, anywhere you're coming in the south in the summer, my strong recommendation to you is to go to Google Earth and look for shade. Some of these sites that are down waterfront sites, we usually don't prefer waterfront sites. Like right now. It's January. It's not bitterly cold like it is in a lot of places, but there's wind coming off of that lake and it makes it quite a bit colder, so we like being away.
Yes.
On this, you can see we're in site 17, which is...
And 16 through 31 are well shaded. I think this part would be absolutely gorgeous in the spring and summer.
Exactly. But those waterfront sites, you don't have the shade for the most part either. And so you want to be aware of that.
And something I wanted to mention for those of you with children or grandchildren, the Corps of Engineer parks that I've seen have just whipped up on state parks where playgrounds are concerned. They have a little castle at one place down by the day use area. It looks fun.
Yeah, you know we love our Texas state parks, and our Texas state parks outdo Corps of Engineer parks when it comes to trails, ranger programs,
yes,
a camp store, kinds of things like that. But Corps of Engineer is amazing when it comes to having life vests available, and then, like Marlena said, playgrounds are usually very, very good. We will say, as you look at the video of the water areas, we ask, and the lake, which is massive.
Yes.
Okay, this is the drought in Texas right now, is this lake, which is massive, is 7 feet below what it normally runs. And so
It's not dry by any means.
No, but it's nowhere near what the water levels usually are. But it is a beautiful park, and it's been, we're here during the week. Once again, Lake Whitney is just about an hour south of Fort Worth, thereabout. And weekends, holidays, I'm sure this place is full.
Now, it'll be interesting to see. This is a Friday, but camping in Texas is not always crowded. During the winter, it's just cold sometimes.
Well, and that's the deal, is that our weather is really unpredictable. We've been down in the teens. Well, actually, I think we got down to single digits.
Yeah.
And yet we've also been back up to almost 80. And so this season, and we're just the first full week in January. So the point being, you can't really depend on the weather. You kind of got to wait and see what it is during the winter. During the summer, you can make it plan. It's going to be hot. It's going to be hot. But I tell you, the covered picnic tables are lovely.
And I think they're cement tables.
I believe most of those are. One of the screen shelters, I was able to go in and kind of give you a look around that. And those shelters, while they have the larger, I don't believe that they would accommodate an RV at the shelter, though.
No.
Those are not designed for that. There are some in the Texas state parks where the screen shelters or cabins are designed so that you could have one family in an RV and another family in the screen shelter and both be there at the same site. And that's not the case here.
At our Texas state
but not
parks,
all of them.
Usually the screen shelters have a picnic table outside and...
Well, this had the picnic table inside.
Yeah, and a fire ring outside. Yeah. And I don't... Did it have fire?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
So anyway...
And a grill.
It's a beautiful park, and once again, one of your choices if you're going to be on Lake Whitney. And it was a park we'd not been to before. And so I will say one other thing, and that is we did a review of Lake Whitney State Park. When we first started RVing, we had no idea that we would have a YouTube channel. We went back at one point and talked about that first trip to Lake Whitney, which was our very first trip, and mistakes that we made there. It's still, after 8 years of RV travel, I believe that's the only campsite we've ever gotten to after dark, and it was our first.
Yes.
And so you can imagine, it was just wonderful.
We don't recommend it.
But anyway, we're having a great time here, loving this park, and
it's a great park to ride bikes.
Yeah, we got to go a number of miles yesterday and go explore. And we will say there was an equestrian trail we started down. We were talking about that. The state parks typically have a lot of trails. Corps of Engineers, we've not experienced Corps of Engineer parks that have as many trails. This one had an equestrian trail. We started, did not go very far because it was not bike friendly.
Yeah, it was turning sandy and soft, and
so we don't have a horse, and so we turned around and came back. But anyway, it's a beautiful park. It's put your directions in before you start here.
Yes.
Would be our recommendation. And then if you're in this area, this might be a place you want to check out. Thanks for watching Two Tired Teachers.